Hi, Kevin.
Oh, Jesus! Oh, God! Oh, Jesus! God! Oh, Mary, Mother of Jesus! Jesus of Nazareth!
You're making us a little bit uncomfortable.
Relax, big guy. He's just doing this for his art.
I think I've improved on your methods a bit too. I employed some chiaroscuro shading and...
I'll improve on your methods.
What?
Kevin's back! Kevin! We love you, Kevin! Kevin, please!
With this tool, I shall give birth to art!
Listen!
Welcome to the apocalypse, ladies and gentlemen. It is the end of times. It is the end of days. Nice to see you. Welcome back to the Doodle stream.
No matter how anybody says it is, feels good to have made something.
It does. It does feel good to have made something, even in the apocalypse. Helk Pixel, nice to see you, man. T-minus 24 hours or so until I see you. J Freak is here. Ray, as always, Funny Figs hanging out. Anybody else? Don't be shy. Don't be shy now. Welcome, everybody. It's nice to see you all. Welcome back to the Doodle stream, just in case you don't know what's going on. This is the normal stream, okay? Isabel's here. Everybody, Isabel's here. Isabel's incredibly important. Everybody say hi to Isabel. Okay, just everybody. Everybody say hi to Isabel. This is the normal stream. So I normally stream once a week, and I do the Doodle stream. This is Thursday nights, unless I'm busy, unless something's going on. Warning, there's not a Doodle stream next week. I have Scouts. It's a big deal. It's a big thing. We're doing the crossing over ceremony where my younger son goes into his last year of Cub Scouts and goes into Boy Scouts. So there won't be a Doodle stream next week, but normally there's a Doodle stream every Thursday. This is where I take your requests. We do viewer requests in the Doodle stream. I pick the theme. You guys give me the suggestion. Arctic Arts is here. Arc says, Isabel, more like he's a boss, am I right? That's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Isabel says, daylight savings and a change in work schedule means I can finally catch a stream again. Hey, you're always welcome. Always welcome here. Jay Freaks says, daylight savings is messing with my sleep. Sure it does. Everything messes with everything in the apocalypse. So, I need to clarify something. First and foremost, I must beg your apology because last week we did 80s movie characters, right? 80s movie characters. Films from the 80s. And I accidentally credited Kristen for that. That was not Kristen's suggestion for a theme. Oh no, I messed up. Octogirl 10, hi, how you doing? Hi, what are we drawing? We're going to be drawing Apocalypse. And you can participate. You can participate if you want. Exclamation point. When you guys stop by, if you never know the theme, hit exclamation point theme and that'll tell you the theme. And then exclamation point suggestion will tell you how to give me a suggestion. And I pick them throughout the stream. Ray says, you can't come back from a mistake. I know I can't. It's really unfortunate. Bhabs was the actual suggester. And you know, Kristen is a huge fan of the 80s. I constantly get 80s recommendations from her on like everything. For robot suggestions, for Patreon get like, she is definitely a fan of the 80s. Everything she suggests is from the 80s, and I was like, oh, 80s films. This is Kristen, and it was not. It was Bhabs. I'm sorry, Bhabs. So last week's theme of films from the 80s was actually Bhabs' suggestion, so I'm sorry about that. Now, moving into this week, I did a little bit of tweaking again, okay? All right? So this week's theme technically is brought to us by Hawkeye Lego Man. Now, Hawkeye Lego Man said, for one of his suggestions for what our theme is today, he said, I want an entire theme, entire stream dedicated to abandoned animatronics. Now, I am a fan of animatronics like anybody else, but that, I believe, was a hair too niche, too specific for a stream. But I do like the abandoned aesthetic, so I massaged it a little bit. So that is what today is. So initially, Hawkeye Lego Man said, can we do an entire stream based on abandoned animatronics? Let's do Apocalypse. So we're going to kind of widen it up a little bit. So Hawkeye Lego Man is our patron of the week who sponsors today's stream. Thank you to all the patrons who support me. You guys are incredible. I can't do a lot of what I do without you. Exclamation point Patreon if you'd like to check that out. So, hey. Hopefully Hawkeye Lego Man pops in and we can ask him what he wants because the person who suggested the theme definitely needs to get something drawn. So we're going to just draw Apocalypse stuff. So let's just pick something from the suggestion box to start drawing and then I can start talking and we can all sit here and be really sad because it's the end of days. Okay? End of days. I'm going to start with this one from Lindsay who said an apocalyptic Viking. All right, so I'm going to find a picture of a Viking and I'm going to make it apocalyptic. Okay? And then we can all cheer up Arctic Arts, who's apparently having a bad day. All right. Give me a picture of a Viking. Survey says Viking. We are listening to a very soundscapey apocalyptic music. If it gets too, like, if we get too bummed out, then I might change it. But I don't want the Minnesota Vikings. Ugh. Okay, there's an image. I got an image I can use. Ark says, I'm having a rough one today. And Isabel said, no. And Ark said, so that seems appropriate. And Ray said, very subtle. Very subtle. All right, so first up, we're going to draw a apocalyptic Viking. And I am not going to use this real pen on my tablet. That was in my hand. I'm going to use... There we go. And done. I had coffee. Hey, everybody, I just had coffee. I had coffee like within 5 minutes ago. Lindsay says, hello. I just had to fight with my phone to get the desktop site to load so I could resubscribe. So annoying. I didn't want to pay the extra $1 through Google Play. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. What is that's not the one I want. Oh, I want the sketch brush. This one. That's the one I want. But thank you. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Like I said, if the music gets too drab, then I'll change it. But this is a 10-hour apocalypse This is a 10-hour apocalypse. Who is like sitting at home and just being like, man, I just feel like it's the end of days and I just want to listen to end of days music, I guess. Helk says, I ordered pizza for dinner. I'm exhausted. You know, today for me wasn't terrible. Every day at work is an absolutely unpredictable adventure. Let me tell you. Helk, I have stories. Helk, I have stories to tell you this weekend. I've got stories to tell. But today was okay. Today was actually okay. Hawkeye Lego Man is here. Hawkeye Lego Man, hey, surprise, surprise. Today's stream is brought to you by you. So I just explained earlier in the stream, I know that your initial request for a theme was abandoned animatronics. And I appreciate abandoned animatronics. You know I do. You know I do. But I thought that was a little bit too niche. Just a little bit too niche for a 3-hour stream. So I wanted to keep the abandoned concept. So I kind of massaged it to apocalypse. But definitely let me know what you want, and we'll definitely get you something drawn today. And maybe what you want is an abandoned animatronic. But yeah. So technically you're the sponsor. So hey, thanks. Help, can't wait for the stories. Nice. Spill the tea? No, Ray. We just lost another employee at my job. Isabel listens to 10-hour haunted house mixes on YouTube whilst my gaming group plays our campaign game. It sets the mood. Sometimes it does set the mood. Sometimes it does set the mood. I'm trying to draw an apocalyptic Viking. Hey, look at this really cool eye I did. Let's just replace it. And maybe it's not going to be cross-eyed for a second. Otherwise, Ray will make fun of me. No, that's okay. Tomorrow's going to be nuts. It is going to be nuts. Tomorrow's going to be crazy. So I've got my car packed up. I've got my... Yeah, I know. Ray's always looking. I don't appreciate that, Ray. I've got my car packed up with the... I did my con prep last night, so we got CT GamerCon this weekend. I packed up the car, did all the prep work, restocked the prints and stuff. So at some point tonight, I need to pack up so that I can go straight from work to the venue, because I really would rather not come home, because that's 45 minutes in the wrong direction, if you know what I mean. Convention weekend again, so I'm actually really thankful that we had a snow day this week on Tuesday, because I actually have for the last couple weeks and then going into, I've had 40 days, so in full I have 40 days where I do not have a single day off, because I'm working Monday through Friday, and then I have events. I had an event the first weekend of March, second weekend of March, the third weekend of March, and the fourth, when we go into April, is finally when I don't have an event. So I'm working Monday through Sunday, Monday through Sunday, Monday through Sunday. So it's like, oh my goodness. So I was happy because we didn't have to go into the office Tuesday because of the winter storm, which was not really anything. Not for us, but in some places of the state it was bad. I'm stopping at the Airbnb first, then running to Mohegan Sun. That sounds like you. That sounds like a Joe thing to do. I'm sorry. I apologize. That sounds like a Pixel thing to do. Boy, that sounds like Pix, all right. That's just the coffee talking. Hopefully it's worth it all. Yeah, you know what's funny, Lindsay? Last weekend I had a very good show at Northeast Comic Con. I did a little bit of a recap on it. If you want to go back and listen to, if you want to go back and listen to the 4-hour robot stream I did a couple days, or I did on the snow day. I did a hold on. I did a recap on. I don't like this side of the mustache. I did a recap on how the show was and how it did, and it was very, it was a strong show. My goal was $1,000, and I actually landed at about $1,100, which was incredible. I still don't like this mustache. But the Great Equalizer said, what is that? What is that I see? What is that I hear? Extra money? Extra money? Extra money I hear? So my car had to go into the shop because I had a seized up caliper that damaged other parts of my tire and rotors and yada, 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 yada. And so I had to pay $2,200 to get it all fixed. So who needs money? Lindsay says, maybe I'll remember to watch it tomorrow. Hey, you don't have to. But if you're interested, if you're, you know, sometimes I listen to stuff when I'm just running errands and things. The key to this is, why is butts okay? You can say butt. Ripperoni. Yep. I need to clean the house. Yeah. See? That's something you can listen to while you're cleaning the house. You don't need to look at anything. It's basically just like me drawing robot bride and groom for 4 hours. No, I don't like that. Let me do another layer. So yeah, tomorrow's gonna be rough. Tomorrow's gonna be rough. I'm gonna be working, you know, I got my normal wake-up call, 5:30 a.m., going into the office 7:45, working 8:30 to 3:30, and then go straight over to the venue to maybe do a little setup, maybe just drop my stuff off. I don't know. We'll see how I feel. And then, yeah, show. So, wonderful. Isabel says, I have been trying to watch the stream VODs to catch up when I can, but life is busy. Life is busy. I had an entire to-do list for this month. I think I've done maybe like 2 things off it. Lindsay says, I saw the bride and groom. It looks great. Thank you very much. It is really tough. It is really tough. I liked the conversation that we had in the Discord server. Speaking of Discord, ! Discord, if you're an artist and you want help from other artists, join the Discord. We were talking about how we have like the list of to-dos, and then you like misplace the list, and then you find the list and you realize like 2 months later that you've done nothing off the list. So that was great. I haven't done any drawing today. I did some painting. At work. And I did like some graffiti kind of stuff. Some like abstract graffiti designs, but I have not drawn. So you're seeing the first drawing of today, so be gentle, please. The key is to somehow make this apocalyptic. So I'll figure that out. I feel like his helmet, instead of the normal Viking helmet, should be some kind of like element from society. You know what I'm saying? Like a stop sign or something. Lindsay says, I make lists on the list app, and then I forget about the lists. Wonderful. Ark says, I'm just trying to figure out marketing stuff. Ark, that's the same thing you've been saying for every year I've known you. But it's not amounted to much, so I'm kind of frustrated. Ark, you just need to listen to me more often. You literally have a professional marketer who is in an inner circle with you that consistently throws information at you all the time. And you're like, maybe. I kind of see the point, but I think I'm going to struggle instead. Isabel says, my downfall is...
Hi, Kevin.
B-Habs is here. Hey, B-Habs. First and foremost, sorry. I apologize. I just got done telling everybody that I accidentally did not credit you to our 80s movies theme last week because I thought it was Kristen's, and it was not Kristen's. It was yours. I'm sorry. Hawkeye says, I almost kept my suggestion as vague as the animatronics, but then added the attractions part for the extra. Yeah, I mean, I definitely appreciate it. I'm trying to be a little bit better about that this year in terms of like I definitely want you guys to participate. That's a perk of being a patron, is getting to suggest a theme. But I don't really want to like push the themes to be so niche that it's like kind of uncomfortable for people if you don't know what's going on. So like I think a good example of that was the Battlestar Galactica stream. Yeah, it was all right. Yeah, we made it work. But a lot of people couldn't participate. It was too niche. People didn't know what it was. And even though that was like, yeah, I know that I said you can do it, but I want to try to avoid getting way too pigeonholed into like a very specific niche topic. Ray says, I didn't know it was the Rip Ark a new one stream. Ark can take it. He's all right. Ark's okay. I would have bought some popcorn. And Behab says, I suppose I can forgive you. Ark, you're awesome, man. You need to listen to me more often, though. What should I put on his head? What should this be? It has to be something. I think it's gonna be a stop sign. That's how it's apocalyptic, is you start repurposing things. And you have like what? Spiked collars and belts and stuff that are like Mad Max. Mad Max stuff. Let me duplicate this. I hope we get more stuff done this week than last week. I was kind of embarrassed last week at how few things I drew. I was talking too much. BF says, yeah, I came in and it sounded like Kevin was getting heated. No, I wasn't getting heated about anything. I'm not getting heated anything. It's because I care too much about my dear friend Arctic Arts and I want him to succeed and he doesn't listen to me. Not as niche theme as statues in America. That's true. That is true. Pick easier prompts. I gave you gray goo. Yeah, the other thing too is, I don't remember if I already told you guys this or not, but I went and got all of the patron themes, you know, and I made a yearly calendar, so I already have them already planned out, so I know what's going on. But I also kept one stream every month. There's one stream every month that's my theme. And those are the copyright-free ones. That is the animals that we did a couple weeks ago. What I don't have the list next to me, but like copyright-free stuff. Those are mine. So that there will be consistently copyright-free streams so that I can, you know, use the stuff. I can use it, you know what I'm saying? Lindsay had a killer migraine last week, so I slept instead. Hey, good for you. Ark says, what am I not doing again? Posting or something? Yeah, when did you... Hey, is this the Arctic Arts roasting stream? Ark, I'm going to bring up your Instagram live. Arctic Arts, when was the last time you posted on this? November 14th, 2021, ladies and gentlemen. BF says, when you asked for ideas, I tried to think of it. I appreciate that. I mean, we can do some more specific things too. Isabel says, my socials have really dried up this month. I literally have shorts, TikToks edited, and stuff ready to post. I've just, not done it. Octogirl's heading out. Well, thanks for being here, Octogirl. If you didn't leave a suggestion in the suggestion box, feel free to do that. You don't have to be here. I will look through that suggestion box through the entire stream. Exclamation point suggestion. If you have something, feel free to toss it in there. Should this Viking have an eye patch? I think he should. I think he should probably. I mostly post on YouTube and TikTok now. I don't really post much art anymore since it's mostly VTuber comms. BF says, don't believe Kevin. You do have to be there. They are hormonal, so not anything I can do about them. It's awful. Oh, the migraines? Sounds awful. Okay, I need to do some drawing. I'm like already falling behind again. Just listen to this haunting music. It'll be fine. So is this a Viking of the Apocalypse? Yes. This one is. This is Lindsay's suggestion. This is what we're starting with today. I'm going to do... Where's my reference image again? Oh, you know what? Stop sign shoulder pad. Stop sign shoulder pad. That's where it's at. Yes, my migraines are a hormonal issue because of my PCOS. Nothing makes them go away. It's the worst. That sounds like the worst. I'm sorry to hear that. There are some good ones. Did you look through the suggestions? I have not looked. Sometimes I get scared to look. I know Boba Laveau already put 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, so we're going to go ahead and properly ignore that. It's the only suggestion I've ever click the down thumbs up on before. But yes, as I've said multiple times in multiple settings, online, offline, wherever it may be, I do really care about all my fellow artists. I want everybody to succeed. I want you to make a living off your art. And it's not easy. It's not, you can be the most talented artist in the world. If you're not marketing yourself, if you're not selling yourself, none of it matters. And if you want to do it for fun and for free and it's a hobby, all the power to you. If you want to make a living off it and you're not actively using social media, I know you don't like it. I get it. It's a pain in the butt. I get it. But if you're not going to be where your customers are, you might as well give up, because you have to be where the customers are. And the customers are everywhere. They're on TikTok, they're on Instagram, they're on Facebook, they're on YouTube, they're on Twitch, they're anywhere and everywhere you can find them. There's things you can do to make it a little bit easier. You can backlog content. You can use third-party publishers to stage out your stuff so you don't have to do it every morning. You can repurpose stuff. Share the same stuff over and over again. It's better to share it again than to share nothing. Gotta get comfortable with it. I'm telling you. Those things terrify me as a child. Lindsay says, my sister basically gave up on her art degree because it's so hard to find a job in animation, and she was laid off during the pandemic. Yep. Yeah, I got my animation degree and graduated in 2008 during the recession, so that was fun. Also, when I studied 2D animation, and it was the same year that Disney had laid off 500 traditional 2D animators to focus on 3D, so I was batting 1,000. I was batting 1,000, let me tell you. I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm just going to do him and his helmet and his nice, awesome shoulder pad. Isabel says, every month of this year, I've been like, this will be the month I get on top of my game. And it's not. I'm slowly getting there, bulk making stuff for Etsy, Ko-fi. I think it's coffee. Everyone says Ko-fi, but I'm pretty sure it's coffee. But then, in their logo, a coffee cup. But then the day job gets in the way. The day job always gets in the way. I know all about that now. Don't you worry. Don't you fret. I know all about that. Okay, how do I want to make this? What's a thing? Let me just search Mad Max for a second. Maybe like a spike? Or like knives or something? I think I have some ideas. So we're gonna do this. You gotta have random like bandages and wraps and stuff that maybe mean something, maybe don't. Right? Like this, that's kind of part of the thing. That's literally part of the thing. And then we have another one that's gonna go over this for some reason. Lindsay says she has a 3D animation bachelor's degree. That's nice. BF says, and if you need to know anything about Kevin's work, ask him. Ask me. Ask me. What do I want to do on this? I have ideas for doodles, but I'm not really feeling any of them. Well, think on it. Plenty of time. Plenty of time. How about we do this? I'd like to do... well, never mind. Don't want to make you have another... Nope, this won't be 4 hours. I promise you that. I'm pretty good at keeping the doodle stream within 3 hours. Sometimes we go a little over if I'm in the middle of something. But no, we're pretty good about keeping this one on track. But yeah, Ark, if you want to do another jam session, man, at some point, let me know. I mean, I'll basically tell you all the same things I told you already, but you're gonna have to commit to doing it. Otherwise, you know what Albert Einstein said, right? The definition of insanity is continuing to do the exact same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. You're not gonna get a different result, so you need to buckle in and do it. But I'm happy to do it. Happy to share anything I know. And believe me, I have plenty of things that don't work and flop and fail, but I've also tried a lot of things and I'm actively experimenting constantly. Ray says, ooh. I keep meaning to post about another UAC virtual meeting. Yes, we need to have another one. We need to have one that's in your time zone, Isabel, to be honest. Because that's only fair. Although I'm very pleased with the number of New Englanders and people here that I've convinced to pop in. There's quite a few. But I think there's more New Yorkers than there are Connecticutans. Alright, that's a Viking Apocalypse Viking. I'm going to color that. It's good enough. Hey, it's not just good, it's good enough. I keep trying to recruit UK people. I am outnumbered. You are very much outnumbered. You guys in your checkbooks. Don't even get me started on that thing again. I still don't understand that. I still don't. I was listening to an episode of Pawn Stars, which I'm a Pawn Stars fan. I was listening to an episode of Pawn Stars the other day, and it was on their YouTube channel, and it was on the YouTube channel from years ago. Like, I think it said it was, like, posted, I don't know, 6 years ago. And, you know, that guy's in Vegas, and he's a business owner. And he made the statement on Pawn Stars that he hadn't written a check in years. He said, well, I haven't written a check in years. Everything's online. I'm like, how do you not, like, I get it. A lot of stuff is, like, but there's certain things that are just not. Like, my Boy Scout troop for my kids, they will not accept anything but a check. Like, that is the only acceptable thing they will take. And there's plenty of other stuff that only takes checks. My landlord only takes checks. And I'm just like, how are people literally getting away with not ever writing checks for anything? I get that a lot of stuff's becoming automated. There's a lot of digital online versions for things, or payment methods for things, but it's just like, to just flat out not write them ever, I don't understand how that's possible. Bubble of O's here, not a robot. Nope, because today is the Doodle stream. You know this. You know this. Come on. What game are we playing? And I definitely will not be drawing a robot later. I don't have the time. So we will continue to go further behind. I said when I did that one, the bride and groom, that I was going to do another one offline later, and I did not because I got pulled into doing other freelance stuff. I finished a commission. I started another commission. I just didn't do it. Lindsay says, I haven't written a check in like 11 years. I don't understand that. I don't, like, nothing. How do you have not a single thing that you write a check for? Like, I don't write a ton of checks. I don't. But there are certain things that I have to. That's what blows my mind. Like, I get that there's a lot less check writing going on and a lot more automation going on, but just straight up no checks. I don't understand that. I don't. I can't understand that. You did a good job on those robots. Hey, thanks. BF says, I told you, my husband didn't know how to write a check. I know, and I think that's wild. I think that's absolutely wild. Bolo says, my wife has not written a check in 20 years plus, but that is because she makes me do it. There you go, see? See? Lindsay says, our old landlord had the same bank, so we used to do it. But yep, so we did the same thing. We did the same thing when we first moved into the house. Our landlord and us both had Wells Fargo accounts, so I would just go into the thing and I'd transfer it over. And then they stopped letting us do that for fraud and whatever other reasons, which I don't disagree with. They're like, nope, we're not allowing anyone to do that anymore unless that's your account and you have the name on it. You can't transfer. And so then we had to switch to checks. And so I mail her a check now. But we did that for the first, I think the first year and a half to 2 years. Please send all tips to Mr. Hinkle via check to... Hey, I'll find a way to cash those bad boys. Don't you worry. Yep. Usually. Well, I mean, it kind of depends, I think. Because there was also a period of time when she had switched banks. And I went into the branch. She doesn't live in this state. She lives in Florida, as all landlords do. And I went to her new bank. And I tried to transfer it, and like they let me do it a couple times, and then they got like really like, no, this is not your account, it's not your name, none of this information is your information. Like they got really weird about it, and they're like, and I was like, and I told her, I'm like, they're getting weird about it, so I think we should just go take checks, because they were getting weird about it. I was like, something, I feel like you're gonna slap me with a fee or something's. You're building up to something. You're like bracing me for impact in some kind of way. I felt it. Hawkeye Legoman says, I mean, you never know. Someone might be suggested something robot related, which just so happened to be the theme he wanted to do, but it was niche. And it landed on the time of March of Robots. Sure, that's fair. Could be a thing. That's fair. That's fair. Could be a robot. Hey, you never know. You definitely get something drawn, Hawkeye, so I don't know if you already tossed something in there or if you're thinking about it. I haven't looked yet, so. Lindsay says, now I pay my stepmom for rent, so we just Zelle her the money. Yeah, for the Zelle. I have Zelle, I think. It's like an automatic thing as part of a Wells Fargo customer. I used the ATM at Wells Fargo the other day because I needed to deposit cash from the show. And I got this very unceremoniously message that was like, made me feel a certain way. But it was like, hey, thank you so much for 33 years of service as a Wells Fargo customer. And I was like, you're welcome. I got like strong vibes, like strong memories from when I worked at Walmart and I worked on my birthday, and it was like, I used the little card to clock in, and it was like, hey, happy birthday. On the little tiny green and black LED screen. I was like, thank you, I guess. Help the young people are making up apps again. Yep. Zelle is built into our U.S. Bank and Capital One app. Yeah, it's built into the Wells Fargo one too. They got some cushy agreement going on for sure. For sure. For sure. Hawkeye's got a suggestion. Very good. Very good. Then we'll do yours next. That shouldn't stop anyone else from tossing any suggestions in there. I will draw as many as I can. I always try to draw as many as I can. Every episode. Although sometimes I talk too much and I don't draw enough. So the average has been slowly shrinking. But the quality is getting pretty good, huh? Huh? I had a moment too last night. I stayed up a little bit later than I should have. I really try to go to sleep at like 10 or 10:30 now with the wake up call, because it gives me a headache when I wake up if I don't sleep enough. and I was working on some stuff, and I knew there was one more thing I needed to do, and I could not for the life of me remember what it was. It's like, I know there's one more thing I need to do, and I could not remember it. And then I finally remembered it this morning, or not this morning, but a couple hours ago, when I was like, it was a Brian thing. Supposed to do a Brian thing, and I forgot about it. I knew it. I knew it was something. Quality over quantity. That's right. I will take a video of me terrified if he draws that. Ooh. Ooh. Terrified video, you say. Tomorrow's St. Patrick's Day, huh? I guess. Everybody was talking about it at work if we're going to do a thing. Because we did a thing. We did a thing on Valentine's Day. They did a Valentine's party and they brought in pizza for everybody and like a lot of candy, and we did like some games and stuff. And I was like, so if the bar is that we do something for Valentine's Day, why on earth would we not do something for St. Patrick's Day? I consider St. Patrick's Day and Valentine's Day like on par with each other. BF says, I cared when I was 21. Hey now. Now St. Patrick's Day sounds exhausting. Is this music still fitting, or should I change it? Has anyone gotten tired of it yet? There was one show, I don't remember what it was, like a stream we did, and I was playing some kind of music, and I got sick of it. And I was like, we're going to change this because I'm sick of it now. I don't remember what that was, though. I cannot recall. Lindsay says, Colorado Springs did their St. Patrick's Day stuff over the weekend, and I didn't care at all. You mean the Springs? We call it the Springs. Oh, we drove up from the Springs. BF says, Kevin, will you be drinking green-colored coffee tomorrow in honor of the holiday? No. But I need to wear green. I literally made a point to tell, like, every person at work. I'm like, you better wear green. I try so hard. To be, like, a positive force in there. I try so hard. There's a lot of folks that are not happy, and I try very hard to bring some positivity. So I was like, make sure you wear green tomorrow. Wear green. And I was like, I don't think I even have anything green. I used to have a green button shirt, and I can't fit in it anymore because I'm sad. Because my gym closed a year ago. That's really why. Isabel says, I'm just sad we don't get Shamrock Shakes in the UK, even though we literally have Ireland here. Yeah, you guys got to get on that, please. Lindsay says, yeah, the Springs, but others in the chat wouldn't know what else. I know what you're talking about. And boy, howdy, did people love to feel like they were entitled coming up from the Springs. Man, oh man. We used to joke about that at work. Oh, did they come up from the Springs? Gotcha. Everyone always went out of their way to tell us if they drove up from the Springs. Oh, we came up here from the Springs. Like, okay. I came here from my house. What do you want? What do you want? You want an award? What do you want? What are we doing? What do you want? I've said the Springs before, and people thought I was talking about Manitou Springs, but everyone just says Manitou. Yeah. It does. Super snooty, fluty. Bubble says, do you have a fun St. Patrick's Day art activity planned for tomorrow? I was thinking about that. Part of me thinks that maybe it would not be very far-fetched if actually something was planned and we just weren't told about it, because that's kind of how things go there. As of this exact moment, I have nothing planned, so we'll see. Isabel says, it's time for bed, as I got my early work start tomorrow. Glad I could catch at least a bit of the stream, Kevin. Talk soon. Everybody say bye. Isabel, everyone say goodbye to Isabel. Isabel, we will give you one last Oh, the joyfulness is over because Isabel's leaving.
We'll just put one in here by the
Yes, we
castle.
don't go around altering liable afterwards, Dr. Franklin. Go. Yes, I think so. Yes, the joyfulness is over.
There you go. Joyfulness is over. Isabel's leaving. Have a good night. Have a good day at work tomorrow. Thank you, everybody, for participating. All right, there is our.
Oh no!
This should be a lot bigger, I think. Whatever. We're done. We're done. We're done. Okay. Bye, Isabel. I think that stop sign should have probably been a lot. It's like smaller than the size of the face, and like stop signs are gigantic. But hey, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's a doodle. They're not meant to be perfect. Lindsay says it looks good. I have to drive to the middle of nowhere, Colorado now, so I'll lurk until I lose service. Hey, sounds good. BF says my ideas are just subpar today. Wow, being pretty hard on yourself. All right, Hawkeye Lego Man, what did we do? Let me reload the suggestion box. Apocalyptic animatronic Chuck E. Cheese. Love it. Loving it. Loving it. Stop it. Where do we got it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh my. Oh my. That's the one? That's the one. Maybe that one? I'm looking at reference images. Stand by. What is that? It's like a Roblox. Wow. Interesting. Someone made like a Chuck E. Cheese Roblox character, but it actually doesn't look that bad at all. Because it has the Roblox body, but the head is like the normal head. Please do not, says Bhabs. I'm going to schedule a therapy session. Be right back. All right, we'll be here when you're done. There's so many different versions of the Chuck E. Cheese animatronic. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the one. I think I found it. All right. Kronk, hide the sketch layer. Wrong layer? Those things seriously terrified me. Yeah, sure they did. I was scared of them too when I was a kid. You know what I was incredibly fascinated with though? Munch, the purple guy on the keyboard. I was really fascinated, and not like in a fascinated in kind of a terrified way. Like, yeah, the other ones were scary, but like Munch, I was like, that thing is the leader. And he had those little baby Munches in the cans next to him, and I remember they came up once when I was a kid and I went to our local Chuck E. Cheese. They came up in a performance, and they never came up ever again. And so I was constantly afraid because they came up once and then they never came up ever again. So I'm like, they're gonna come up when I'm not ready for them, and I'm gonna be terrified. He also had like, you know, they had the talking moon in the background, and the skyscraper had a face. Hawkeye, are you on TikTok? Funny Fix says, my child was devastated when she learned Chuck E. Cheese doesn't have animatronics anymore. Yeah, I believe it. You know what they need to do. You know what they're sleeping on, right? We all know. The fact that there's not a real life and not like a Halloween attraction, Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria is like money on the table. Like, in all seriousness. No, it doesn't need to be an actual, like, there doesn't need to be actual safety issues, but like, just, you know, do it up like a haunted house. It's like, why on earth would you not? That is money on the table. I know they did one like during Halloween somewhere, like LA or something, but it's like, no, that should be an all year round, have real arcade games and just make them look beat up, but they all function. You know, it's like stupid. Hawkeye says, I have TikTok. I only have it to have it currently. So there is a account you should follow if you're not already following. And it's like, I think it's called Showbiz Pizza Man. And it's this guy. He is straight out of the 80s. He has a mullet. He's one of the kindest people you've ever met. He worked at a Showbiz Pizza. He's worked there for like 30-something years. It started when he was like a teenager. He's like the manager now. And then the Showbiz Pizza became Chuck E. Cheese, and like he's been there through every renovation, and he does all these videos on like how he updates the animatronics. He like shows putting the floppy disk. They still use floppy disks. He updated the Chuck E. Cheese animatronics for his location, and they had floppy disks in the year 2022. This was last year when he did that one. Ray says they made one in Louisiana for the movie. That's cool. But he does all of these TikToks about him just running his store, but they're like a time capsule because he shows the, yes, I did say floppy disks. He still gets floppy disks sent to him from like Chuck E. Cheese corporate, and that's what he has to use to update the thing. He's really nice, but he's like, I can't tell if he's leaning into the 80s thing or if he just is stuck in the 80s. I'm like, are you doing this for the bit? Like, do you have a mullet on purpose, or are you leaning into this? I thought I was hearing things. How is that possible? It's very possible. But yeah, I think the account's called Showbiz Pizza Man, so you should look that up. I follow him. He's got interesting content. Like, he did one the other day where he just shows how they make the pizza. It's like, here's how we do the dough. Here's how we but it's like legit. Like, here's how we did it from Showbiz Pizza. Here's photos of me working in the 80s. Ray says, I guess there's a tornado warning in the deal. I got to turn you off for a hot minute, buddy. Ray, no, Ray. Ray's in Tornado Alley. Unfortunately, Ray. All right, I understand. Be safe, man. Tornadoes, I am deathly afraid of tornadoes thanks to the movie Twister and watching it way too young. What do you think, B-Habs? Arctic Art says, oh yeah, that tracks. Stay safe, buddy. Arctic Arts, how do we help you? How do we help you, man? I want you to make money and be successful as an artist. How do we help you? Tell me how we help you. Everybody, we're going to have an intervention for Arctic Arts. It's time. It's time. It's time, everybody. Bubble Vo says, floppy disks are still widely used. It's a real problem that manufacturing of new disks stop. BF says, I was scrolled down on the page staring at the suggestion box, and then you said that, and I scrolled up and immediately had regrets. I'm sorry. Did you schedule that therapy session? The music, I'm sure, helps. This is a little too big. I'll scale it down here. Had a call last night with my buddy over from Authocracy, the author of Grasslands. He says everything is still looking good for the book that's sitting with the printers right now, and we started working on, not that there's a lot of work to do, there really isn't, on the coloring book, because the coloring book was part of the Kickstarter campaign. Much easier, because that's just using the artwork I've already done and just killing the color layers and sending it back to him. So and I already did like 10 of those. It's like it really just takes a couple minutes per thing, but they're gonna get the coloring book order going, and then they're gonna start working on the like trading cards. And again, I don't need to do anything for that. Like they already have all the artwork and stuff, so they want to make sure that everybody gets everything together in one package, so they don't. I mean, obviously to save money too, so they don't have to do separate packages for the book versus all the extra goodies that were part of the Kickstarter. Bubble Levo says, I assume he is killing it on the VTuber models. Are you killing it? I need marketing help, and it makes me sad. Ark says, well, I'm wrapping up one of them finally, at least. Once I get it rigged and stuff, hopefully that'll get me out there a bit. Coloring book hype indeed. Yeah, it should be fun. I want to see, hopefully people use it, right? Like it's one thing to make a coloring book, but I hope people actually color the pages in it and then like share them. And yeah, no news is usually good news with stuff like that on a printer. Because they're not like reaching out saying, this is a problem, reformat this or whatever. There's been none of that, so that's good. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. BF says, I have a virtual parent-teacher conference in about 5 minutes that worked out well with this doodle. Oh, well then we'll just keep it here until you leave. There you go. Ark says, my goal for today was to send out Beamcat to speedrunners and release it. Release Who Dat, the Guess Who app. Oh, yeah, I remember you talking about that. For free. And it keeps changing. It keeps moving. I have failed to do both of those things. Why have you failed to do that, Ark? And BF says, sometimes I really don't like you, Kevin. Well, I'm really sorry to hear that. I'm just doing this so that you don't miss this because you're about to leave. I want to make sure you see this come together. I'm doing it for you. Hawkeye says, looking quite creepy already. I love it. Yeah, now I just need to like dial it into the apocalyptic thing. So Ark says, I guess I got overwhelmed with decision fatigue. No, Ark, no. Not decision fatigue. Just make a decision and do it, man. Do it, buddy. Nothing's going to help you if you're just sitting on it. If you're sitting on your hands, nothing's going to change. Ooh, maybe this one should be... I got an idea. Mr. Krabs, I have an idea. Behabs does not deserve this to be. There's no abuse happening. What are you even talking about? I'm just trying to ensure that she gets to participate and see things before she leaves. The correct answer is you're welcome. Thank you for ensuring you have a perfect view before you have to leave. You're welcome. Ark says, ultimately I made a coffee and am going to release it from there with a dono option. By the time I force myself to do it, it's now too late to do the Beamcat stuff till tomorrow. Why is it too... Dude, it's like 6 o'clock. What do you mean, why is it too late? You stay up till like 5 in the morning. You're in the middle of your workday. I'm sort of torn if I should put an edited video of Who Dat out before I release it. To max farm it out for reach, but I'm not. So you just are too like locked up in the what ifs, man. You just gotta do. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta do. Stare down the barrel of the gun. Pee into the wind, my friend. You just gotta do. You're too caught up in all the, do I do this or do I do that or do I do this or do I do that or should I do that or wait, will I do that? What time is the best time to do that? Just do. Do or do not. There is no try. You got to stream today? You can still stream. Unless you do one of your crazy, like, million-hour streams. How long are you going to stream for? BF is going to lurk. Can't handle it. Eyebrow Express is here. Mr. Charles Cheesy. Hey, pee into the wind. That's a saying. Stare down the barrel of the gun. Pee into the wind. Ominous Behabs moments. So you're going to stream till 10 o'clock at night. But also, I think I know enough about you, Ark, to know that you don't go to sleep until probably a ridiculously late time. Okay? It's time for some healthy discourse, Ark. Time for some healthy discourse. What time do you go to sleep? On an average. Fair enough. Maybe I'm still traumatized by the hour night thing. Hey, there's no such thing as bad publicity. It rotates. I'm a good lad now. I wake up at 4 a.m. You wake up at 4 a.m.? I like to say I'm on the moon schedule. I do a full rotation every 2 weeks. I'm on human time now. Look at you. What else can I do to make this apocalyptic? Let me look back at my Mad Max reference. Let's go back to Mad Max for a second. I think we need to add some random bandages because that is also a thing that needs to always happen. Eyebrow Express says Arctic Arts and I are on the constant sleep schedule change. Oh, you know what? So Hawkeye says one eye out. I don't necessarily want to do one eye out, but I do want to mess up one eye. Like maybe something like this. Jay Freak is home from work, and I have sound. We've been talking about you the whole time. I hope that's okay. Oh, I forgot. See, Ark, I forgot to tell you this. Here's my one piece of advice.
Well, art is not all fun and games. It's a lot of hard work.
There you go. All right, I'm going to do some random bandages because we have already discovered that that is a clear sign of being in the apocalypse is you have random bandages. Hey, by the way, thank you guys for being here. Art's easy. Marketing is hard work. But if you're an artist, you have to market your artwork. It's part of being an artist. Don't you ever say that again. Don't you ever say that again. Welcome to anybody that's just popping into the stream. Today's about the apocalypse, so if you have any suggestions, make sure you toss them in the suggestion box, ! Suggestion. If you don't know how to do that, I welcome any suggestions from anybody who is currently watching. You don't have to be here. You can just toss them in the suggestion box and run. I will look through the suggestion box for the entire duration of the stream. I will try to draw as many as I can in between providing complimentary marketing consultation to fellow artists. It's hailing for Ray. At least you're alive and you're here. Ark says, I think for me it's like if I just keep to studies and work at it, I get better. Self-promo feels like an abyss I throw time into for no yield. So we talked about this a little bit, not to put all your business on full display, but we talked about this the last time we had that Discord jam session, because I do think that you're right on the money and that studies are good, and I could probably do with a study or two. But also, there's a time when studying is just done, man. Not like done forever, but like done for the moment. Like it's time to do. And I feel like there's so much prep work that you do, so much prep work, and it's just like you're in a constant like one day mode, right? One day. But it's like that day is today, my friend. That day is now. It doesn't mean you can never do studies, but I feel like maybe you use it as a crutch. It's like not good enough. I'm telling you right now, man, you're good enough. Okay? Everybody tell Artie's good enough. Here, this will make you feel better.
Looks so yummy, yummy. Looks so good. Yummy, yummy. Looks so good. Yummy, yummy. Looks so good. Yummy, yummy. Looks so good.
I heard you like that. That was your favorite redeem, so I did that for you. I'm telling you, you're good enough, my friend. Don't get suckered into doing you've probably done 1,000 hours of studies, man. You're Da Vinci over here working on his Mona Lisa for the rest of his life. Except you don't have like a crazy rich Renaissance nobleman who's paying you money to be a muse for him. What else do I want to do to this? I kind of don't want to do anything else to this. I think I'm going to keep it like that. All right. Alrighty. Let's put some colors on this. Charles Entertainment Cheese. Charles Entertainment Cheese, ladies and gentlemen. Of course. Of course, of course, of course. Of course is a horse. I had a meeting at work on Wednesday about social media strategy for our company because they wanted my input on it. And I was like, well, here's what I think you should do. And I went on this whole spiel, which was a decent spiel. I used all my big boy marketing words. And then when it was done, some of my other colleagues were like, can we talk more often so you can like tell me more of these things? I'm like, sure. Sure. Like people that work in the other satellite offices, not the one that I'm in. Synergistic consumer outreach solutions.
Looks so yummy, yummy. Looks so good. Yummy, yummy. Looks so good. Yummy, yummy. Looks so good. Yummy, yummy. Looks so good.
Hawkeye Lego Man did that for you. Nothing soothes the soul quite like it. You said so yourself. You said so yourself. You've done that to yourself. You were the chosen one. Ark's gotta go. Thanks for the thoughts, man. Hey, anytime. Stop being so hard on yourself. Stop being so hard on yourself and stop thinking you can't do it. Stop thinking it's not time. Stop thinking it's not your time. It is your time, man. Now have fun streaming for the next 6 hours. Gotta get that art money, baby. Yes, you do. I know it. Thanks for popping in. Thanks for hanging out for a little bit, everybody. Arctic Arts, fellow artist. If you're not following him, give him a follow. Does he do some saucy stuff sometimes? He does. He does do some saucy stuff sometimes. Be forewarned. He does some saucy stuff sometimes, all right? Okay? But give him a follow. Give him a follow. He deserves it. Here, let me do the thing real quick. Exclamation point. I haven't done this in a while. Shout out, SO. There you go. Direct link. Direct link to his Twitch. Click it. Take literally 3 seconds. Literally 3 seconds. Give him a follow. It costs you nothing. It costs you nothing, and it'll help heal this poor soul. What color eyes does Charles Entertainment choose? He has green eyes. Okay. Whatever you say, Charles. Whatever you say, Charles, if that's your real name. I'm going to steal the color from our Viking and toss it on the random apocalypse bandages as we do. Hope everybody's doing well today. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Doodle stream. Today's theme is apocalypse. So if you've got some ideas, some suggestions, toss them in the suggestion box. ! Suggestion if you don't know how to do that. And you don't have to be here. I will check that through the entire
Hi, Kevin.
Ghost Eagle 86 is here. What's up? What's up, man? Good to see you again. We're in the apocalypse today. Today's viewer requests. Today's theme is apocalypse. If you have any suggestions or ideas for the apocalypse, if you'd like to see me draw something for you live, feel free to toss it in the suggestion box. If you don't know how to do that, ! Suggestion. Type that in the chat. It'll bring up a quick little helpful tip. How you doing today? Just so you know, I have Ghost Eagle. I have a show this weekend. So tomorrow I am going to work. And then I get off of work and I go directly from work to Mohegan Sun because I'm going to go to GamerCon, CT GamerCon this Saturday, Sunday. So there probably won't be an update on the commission until next week, just so you know. But I did get your message. Awesome that you're liking it. But yeah, it'll probably be like the next time I get a chance to work on it will be like Monday. I'm good, just getting ready for work. Yeah. I know this feeling all too well. All too well. Okay, no rush. Good. I don't ever want people to think I forgot about them, because sometimes something pops up, then I take a couple days to deal with it, and it's like, I didn't forget. Just doing another thing for a little bit. Just doing another thing. Maybe this is a bandage here. That one's one of these apocalypse bandages. Okay, we need a little bit of shadow. We're actually almost done with this, so I'm going to pop in the suggestion box and grab another one. Welcome to the end times with me. Do a little bit of the sea here, just a little bit. Just about done with this. Let me do like one more thing and I think we're done. I need to have some like random, you know, stains and junk. Hawkeye Lego Man approves, and technically speaking, this is his stream today. I just tweaked it a little bit. Okay? He wanted a whole stream dedicated to abandoned animatronics And I broadened it a little bit to be Apocalypse. I thought that was fair. All right, there you go. Charles Entertainment Cheese looking fresh. Looking fresh. Time to jump back into the suggestion box. Oh, let me mark that one as done from Hawkeye Lego Man. Let me mark the Viking is done. And I'm going to do another one. Let me do a quick refresh. Let's take a look at what we got. Oh, we need to do this clicker from The Last of Us. Watch the season finale, which was pretty good. I never played the game, so I only watched the show, and it was good. I enjoyed it, and it made me very uncomfortable. Because I'm like, this seems way too realistic. I'm not okay with that. Okay? Alright, I'm going to do that one, I think. Hawkeye says, as long as I was able to get my suggestion, I'm good. Good. See, look, everyone's a winner today. Everyone wins. Maybe I should stop talking. Should I stop talking? I feel like I'm getting less stuff drawn because I talk more now. But should I stop? You guys want me to stop doing that? Why? Yeah, I just noticed that I don't get as many things drawn during the streams as I used to, which is not necessarily a problem because I think the quality is getting better and better per drawing. But I think another reason why is that I'm talking more just in general, just to like fill dead air, make sure new people that pop in feel welcome, and reminders of what's going on, how to participate. So that also slows me down a little bit. Because, you know, I may be good at drawing and talking at the same time, but it still does slow me down. I know you may not believe me, but it's the truth. Ugh. Ugh. That genuinely scared me. Behabs, well, hi. I am back. How convenient. You are working on another drawing. Do you want me to show you the last one? We finished it. You want to see it? No. Oh, all right. Ray says they will arrest you if you don't draw enough after all. They will arrest me. The content police. Is it still hailing, Ray? Are you in the middle of a... Are you okay? I genuinely hate tornadoes, man. I freak out. I get very uncomfortable. I lose my cool. I don't lose my cool very easily, but I lose my cool during tornadoes. I want you to know. It's raining, says Behabs. Hawkeye says, I forgot what it looked like. Look at Hawkeye trying to be a troll. You will eventually see it, though. That's just what's going to happen, Behabs. It's not on purpose. It's just part of the canvas now. You're going to see it. It came out really good, actually. Came out really good. So, yeah, no big deal. Worst is already passed. Nice. Hawkeye says, I want to see it again so I can refresh my memory, please. The worst of it has already passed. Here's another awesome example. I've been talking about this the last stream a little bit, but about some of the more kind of nonsensy things that happen at work. So we have apparently this like art gallery exhibit gala thing that's coming up that I don't really know anything about. I kind of keep getting snippets of it in passing, and they're like, you know, we want you to help get all the like clients and patients work ready for that and kind of get all of our ducks in a row. I'm like, okay, but can you tell me what it is? I don't know anything about it. I don't know where it is. I don't know exactly when it's happening. I have a general time frame. It's like end of April, maybe May, but I don't know anything about it. But so they wanted to do some press releases. I mean, not press release, photo release for the patients that are there because they might get interviewed and stuff. It's a big deal. It's great. So the director, you know, pretty high up, right, gave me this stack of photo release forms, and he said, could you please give this to all the folks in the program, which is about 15 to 20 people, and you know, if people can sign it on their own, that'd be great. And if they're conserved, because we have quite a few patients that are conserved, they have conservators because they, you know, they've got some serious issues and they are not responsible for their own finances and stuff like that. And so they said, if they have conservators, you need to get that to their conservators so they can sign it. So I'm like, okay, I don't really know how I'm going to go about doing this, but all right. So I got all the folks that can sign it on their own, sign it on their own. That's easy. They come in, I get them, I explain it to them, they sign it, done. And then the other folks, I'm like, I don't really know how to do this. I don't come in contact with your outside of this space. You get brought to me here. So I decided to print out these things. I wrote a little tiny letter and I added it in there. Why did you get modded again? You didn't get modded again. I'm sure it's a wonderful drawing. We are fighting. Ooh. Ray, did you see the Chucky? Hawkeye is like really trying to be a troll right now. So I printed it out and I put it in their books. We have these books that they kind of come in with, and we have to keep it because it has all of their information in case anything goes wrong or whatever. It's a giant binder filled with medical information and forms, and it just kind of travels with them, and it's a pretty good tool actually. But so I printed them out and I put it in there because I'm like, okay, these books stay with these people all day, no matter where they go, and it gets passed from person to person to person to person. So I'll put it in here. I'll write a little note. I'll say this is to X, you know, this is to the conservator of, this is what this is. Please read it. It's like a single sheet. It's like 2 paragraphs. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, if you could please sign it and return it. And then all these, like, you know, caretakers and stuff brought it back in, and they were like, what is this? And I explained it, like, why'd you put this in? I'm like, because I need to get it to the conservator. I don't know how else to get it to them. And they're like, these people are like, well, don't do that. I'm like, well, what do you mean don't do that? And this one lady today, she was like, you need to ask the director to do that. And I'm like, the director literally asked me to do this. So I'm like, am I in the Twilight Zone? Because they're like, oh, only he would, on that level, would have like interaction with it. And then I'm like, then why did he ask me to do it? Because if only he's the one that has interaction and he's giving me, I'm like, I don't know how I am to accomplish this task. Okay, I need to just, I'm like getting sucked into all the details and stuff, and instead I kind of need to just do the body and then go back and then, you know, add the, you know, that looks terrible. That looks awful. Ray says, sounds like you need to get it in writing next time. It wasn't even to me, man. It was to the receptionist, and then the receptionist brought it to me. Because she was like, oh, I just got off the phone with him. She printed him out. She's like, he wants you to do this and this. I'm like, okay. Like, handed it all to me. But I'm like, but if you're the only one that literally has, if you're the only one that has direct interactions with conservators, how on earth would I do this for you? I definitely don't. I guarantee you I have no interactions with anybody outside of the program space. So once they leave, they leave. I don't see anybody that they... I have no way to execute. Like I said, I have no way to execute this task if I can't put them in this book that goes with them, which I thought was... I figured that was the way to do it, because I'm like, oh, this is going to stay with them. This seems like the way to go about this. But also, it could very well be the people that are... the caretakers that are picking them up and staying with them were not in the right to tell me to not do that. I don't know. It's just that kind of stuff. It's that kind of stuff that drives me a little crazy, and it's like people on different pages and different levels of communication, and then I get stuck in the middle. That's what happens a lot. Different people have different understandings and different levels of communication, and then I'm the one that kind of gets stuck in the middle of it all. BF says, you will love my DM. Okay. I believe you. But I probably won't see it until the stream's over. I don't actively have... If it's on Discord, I don't have Discord open actively during streams. That is a distraction. Because otherwise it would just go off over and over and over again. Which it does. And I have everything muted, but it just still does. Because if it's open, it'll still send you the alerts and junk. But I will see it eventually. But thank you so much for thinking of me and sending that. Oh, we gotta do more of these little... So gross. Discord a distraction? Never. That's right, never. You're dang right, never. I was talking about Discord a little bit today, and absolutely not a single person knew what I was talking about. I'm like, okay. But it also came at the same point that we were talking about what faxes need to be sent, and I'm like, okay. All right. That answered my question. Can I draw this hand correctly? Probably not. Did I tell you that I hate hands? BF says, if they know what Slack or Microsoft Teams is, that's basically, they definitely know what Microsoft Teams is. They all talk about that. I don't have it. High five. What's really interesting, what I find really interesting is there's a lot of things I need to do. There's a lot of tasks I need to do at work that require my cell phone and my laptop, my personal laptop. And I find that very bizarre that, like, I need to do that because, granted, I have a little corporate experience. I have corporate experience with one job, but it's like, that is stuff that would have been provided to me by Lego, and it's like, I'm supposed to just bring in my own laptop. And it's like, I'll do it because I got to do it for my job, and I'm being paid by the hour, but this is my phone. Are you going to pay for my text message fees? Are you going to pay for... my, all that kind of, right? Like, just all those things. I'm like, it seems weird that, like, because, I'm used to the corporate laptop and the corporate phone because we have to use it. Is that just weird? Am I out of touch? It seems weird. I already do write it off, Ray. I already write, like, literally everything off. Everything. BF says, that's how it is now. Is it? That seems like... I mean, don't get me wrong. It seems kind of inappropriate. But I'm talking more than just, like, being in contact. Like we have text message groups for certain things on staff that, like, that is how we communicate and share images and stuff. If it needs to go into one thing or the other. Like, not just general, like, we need a way to contact you as an employee. Like, no, it's a part of my job. So it just seems kind of weird. Hey, did I mention I really don't like drawing hands? Oh, you can't even see that hand that I'm drawing. Sweet. You just think I'm full of it. BF says, yeah, that's common. COVID was a huge part of that change, was it? Oh, that's true. I didn't think about that. Because it's like now it's just kind of how it is. It still makes me question it, though. Like, to the point where I'm like, I feel like maybe I should be getting a stipend or company provided something instead of it just kind of being on me, but whatever. What do I know? Hey, what do I know, right? clicker. Races looks like it depends on your state. If you're in California, you'd be required to become. Yeah, but of course I'm not, so. California seems like it has a lot of like I know it's kind of a meme and it's silly because you're like, oh, may cause cancer in California, like when you read it on a label and stuff. But I feel like it's a lot of pretty good legislation and very thoughtful rules and ideals and stuff. But maybe I'm crazy. I don't live there, so I don't know. But it just seems like it. Because I mean, there's things that I think is just like a meme and it's funny. It's like, oh, this is a thing in California. But then there's a lot of other stuff that I'm like, oh, that'd be nice if that was here, but it's only in California. Oh, of course. BF says, not saying I agree with him. I agree with you. I can give you a list of reasons they will provide on why you won't. Yeah, it's fine. Whatever. It's whatever. I think it's mostly weird to me because I'm not used to, like, I'm used to getting all that stuff given to me, so it's weird to not. And just kind of like assumed, like, oh, you'll just bring in your stuff, right? I guess you'll just assume that I have an Adobe license and that I'm paying the $50 a month fee and that I'll just use this. Okay. All right. Ray says San Diego is the nicest place I've ever been. Yes. Well, actually, I've never been to. No, I have been to San Diego. I was thinking San Francisco. I really liked San Francisco a lot. I liked the vibe. BF says California probably allows almost everything to somehow be a write-off. Think about the entertainment industry in Silicon Valley. Very true. Very true. Very true. Okay, now we got to get some grossness. I'm sorry. We got to do some grossity gross. Hawkeye says, scroll up in case you missed my idea, Kevin. Oh, here's an idea, Kevin. You know how you have your challenges? A new challenge that wouldn't involve much and could cost more than the current challenges is a jump scare, and it can be a rotation of any of your horror drawings or doodles. That's an idea. I don't know if I like that. I don't think that matches the vibe of my streams, but interesting idea. It could definitely work for an artist who's more like does routine like horror stuff more often. I really don't do that. We're gonna scare Behabs away. Behabs is one of my most loyal viewers. It's also so interesting in The Last of Us how it's like they're not like zombies. You know what I'm saying? It's a life form. It's a life form that's trying to reproduce. They're not looking to like shred people up, or at least that's not what I see when I watch it. It's like they're just trying to make one bite so that they can like plant the spores. You know, and like they're not sitting there just ripping people to shreds. They're just like, I just need to bite you somewhere so that I can plant these spores inside you. Which is all very unsettling still. But races, they'll be having a heart attack. BF says, I would like to thank the following people for my award. Hawkins says, it's more of a startle the artist challenge, if anything. Oh, I don't like that. I don't want to be startled when I'm trying to draw stuff. BF says, did you see the SNL video of Pedro dancing with one? No, I did not. Ray says, that's what she said?
Oh, Jesus! Oh, God! Oh, Jesus! God! Oh, Mary, Mother of Jesus! Jesus of Nazareth!
All right, clicker's done.
No matter how anybody says it is. Feels good to have made something.
Biab says, sigh. I'm going to need to have my own redeem soon. Well, that's an interesting take. Oh, good. Look. It's a creepy rat. All right. Next, I'm diving back into the suggestion box. Once again, if you have not made a suggestion, feel free to do so. Clicker is complete. I will reload and take a look at what we got. I'd like to draw something that's not a character now. Let's see. A burning Fiat 500 car. Mutant Apocalypse from X-Men. Oh, that's clever. That's clever. Mega spiders. What does Gray Goo Apocalypse mean? I say this with so much love for everyone. I hate you all. I hate all of you. What is Gray Goo Apocalypse, Ray? What does that mean? Let me copy and paste that into the Google machine. What does Google say this gray goo is? Gray Goo Apocalypse? What is this? Gray goo. I don't understand. It's a potential apocalyptic scenario where nanobots consistently break down things to create more nanobots. Eventually, the entire world is consumed to make nanobots. Oh. Let me just sum all that up in one drawing. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, let's do a mega spider. That's not a character. Mega spider. Mega spider apocalypse. Google, just show me this. I just need to just draw a spider, don't I? That's fine. I'll just draw a spider. How about I draw like a B-movie spider? B-movie giant spider. Oh, that's the stuff right there. That's the stuff. That's the ticket. I'll do that one. I just made it. Oh, did you really? From the guy, eventually the entire, okay, from the guy who brought you Jurassic Park. It sounds like a glitch that can catch. A B movie? No B movie. Not the B movie. A B movie. This might be a little tricky, but we're gonna do it. Helk, are you still around? Did you get your pizza? Or did you bail? It's okay. I understand. I get it. Ray says, anyways, I mostly suggest that because it would be really easy to draw just a pile of gray goo. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, man. Actually, I don't like that I'm doing this with black. I think I'll do that with color on top. I was trying to draw the smoke and stuff from this building being destroyed, but I'll just do that later. Got my Earthbound posters in, so anybody that placed an order for the Earthbound 24 inches by 36 posters. They are a beast. They are practically the entire size of my small folding table, which is incredible. Quality is very good. Very good quality. I was a little worried about this, and I didn't think about it until like literally a day before they arrived, but I do not have any shipping tubes that are able to accommodate them due to their size. So I've already placed an order with Amazon to get some shipping tubes that are larger, so I can't ship them out just yet, but they should pop in just a day or two from the old Amazon. But they're in. They're in, and I will still think on what I want to do for offering a reprint, if I even offer a reprint. I'd like to think that the interest in them will grow as the pieces are shared on social media and YouTube and stuff, but I don't know. I'm kind of discouraged, but I'm also like, I understand that TikTok did a lot to sabotage me in terms of promoting stuff because they didn't want me to do that. They just wanted me to use their platform and make cool content and drive engagement, but they didn't actually want me to make any money off their platform, so they actively hid and sabotaged all my efforts to drive any type of sales. So, you know, it's a weird place to be in. It's a weird place to be in, let me tell you. But if I do another one, if I do a reprint of these posters, I do need to do some research. And I know I've got some suggestions from Ray on where I can get them cheaper. Because even though the quality is really stellar, I can't afford to, you know, they were $32 each to print. And I sell them for $30. So I'm literally losing money on every print. And that's not how to do it. That's not the way, guys. That's not the way. Ray says, well, look on the bright side. Soon they'll be banned from the U.S. Will they? How many years have we been saying that? I don't think they will. I really don't. I don't think they will. I don't think they will. Maybe there'll be some legislation that they'll change or, you know, yada, yada, and they'll have to change some kind of privacy stuff. I don't see them going away. I really don't. BF says, we talked about this, Kevin. Ray says, okay, that's insane. $32 a print. It's a large print, man. You saw it's the size of the table. I still think that's a lot. But yeah, that was the cost. It cost me $32 each for each one, which is insane. And I did not have any choice in paper, so I didn't pick a crazy expensive. Like, no, it was one paper size. It was one paper option for that size, because that is literally the largest size they offer. It does not get any larger than that through Cat Print. That was the maximum size available. Okay, we have that. Let me shrink that. Also, for some really bizarre reason that I can't explain, the VOD from the stream, the 4-hour stream where I did the robot bride and groom, was like unpublished. Which I have it set to like automatically share my streams as VOD, so you guys can watch them anytime you want to. You don't have to be there. And they all just automatically do that. I don't know why that one didn't. I thought maybe there was a copyright issue with it, which I would have understood because I was using a couple copyrighted things there in the end. And there still was copyrighted material, but they just mute the audio. But for some reason, I don't know why, the little like option to like publish it or unpublish it was clicked as unpublished, and I just clicked it to publish, and it was just there. And I was like, okay, well, that was really stupid. So it was not available for like a couple days, but now it's on there, and there was no explanation for why. So, which is a little bit of a bummer, because I know that usually most people will watch that as soon as the stream ends, like within the next 24 hours. So the fact that it wasn't there for 24 hours sounds super awesome. All right, there's our gigantic spider, mega spider. I'll toss some colors on it. Twitch said no, I guess. I don't know. It was really weird. Because, like, I went into the back end and I just said, publish? And I just hit the button and it was like, okay. And it was on. But they're supposed to do that automatically. So I don't know if they changed the setting or something on it. Because all the other ones have always done it automatically. I don't need to do anything on my end. And there was no major copyright issues that would prevent it. There was just some copyrighted music that got muted, which is what always happens. So I don't know. Whatever. If anyone didn't hear, I did get my car fixed. I know that was a big subject of discussion last time. I was having some major sound issues, some grinding. I was like kind of worried about that stuff, but I was stressing out on schedule and timing. So I ended up taking it to Firestone yesterday morning. I dropped it off at 7 a.m. and had to take an Uber to work, which was a $40 Uber because I work 45 minutes away from where I live, so that sucked. I dropped it off at 7 a.m. Sent me a snip of it on Discord. Thanks. I keep getting auto mod messages when I have not submitted it. That's weird. Yeah, you're not doing anything. Odd. So I took it 7 a.m. Took an Uber to work. Worked all day. They called me at some point in the afternoon. Said it was a seized up caliper, messed up rotors, 2 bad tires. There was some fluid leaking somewhere. Yada, yada, yada. They had a laundry list of things. And so, like, we'll fix that for you. It took them all day, but it was a day, which I was really impressed with. It usually is multiple days, but it took them all day. They finished exactly at 6:45 p.m. So I dropped it off at 7 a.m., and they had it done and ready for pickup at 6:45 p.m. So then I had to take another $40 Uber to get home, and then another $20 Uber to get to Firestone. So all of the money I made at work yesterday all went towards just Uber rides. So that was incredible. But the car was fixed for a grand total of $2,230. So that was wonderful. We maxed out the old Firestone credit card, which is one of the only credit cards I really, really, really need and use constantly because taking care of your car is very important. And it blew through all of the money I made last weekend. Biab says broken mirror, missing seatbelt, working headlights. A list of issues with Kevin. Yeah, pretty much. So you'll be happy to know. Got the car. Everything's fine. Kevin's not going to die. There's no brakes locking up on me. It is definitely driving pretty smoothly, I'll say. I was like really impressed. No crazy sounds. So I'm like, well, at least there's that. But I'm not a fan of constantly never being able to save money ever. Not a fan of that. Not a fan. Not a fan. So I'm hoping that we're going to have a good show this weekend. Lots of money to be made so I can make up for, you know. I'd like to do another 1,000. I don't think that's realistic for this show. So I think I'm going to aim for about 800, maybe 850. That'd be really great if I could get that. You guys will hear how it goes. This is a Saturday, Sunday show. There's no Friday. It's in a bigger venue than Northeast Comic Con, but I just think it's in general a smaller show. And I've already told you guys before that I don't typically do super well at gaming shows because everybody is there for games. They're not really there for art. They're there for games. Ray says, at least you should be set for a while. I hope. I always think that, and then I feel like something happens. But I do need to take it in for an oil change. It is due for an oil change. I don't do that myself. I never have. But it's not dire, but it is over. I thought about after it was done, I was like, I should have just had them do it while they had it. But I didn't think about it. I was too busy worrying about the other $2,000 worth of repairs. Move him down here, maybe. So we are 1, 2, 3, 4. Not a terrible amount, but you know, hey. Rat for scales, says Hawkeye Lego Man. Looks sweet, thank you. I'm gonna mark Mega Spiders as complete. I'm gonna reload. Hawkeye says Disney Beetleworks. No, you already got a Disney Beetleworks. You got that for Inktober last year. The world split in half. Wow, look at that. Clock Tower, Fallout, New Vegas Ranger. What is this? I think I know what this is, but let me take a look. Is that the little... I should draw the cartoon guy from Fallout, shouldn't I? I think I should. I'm gonna do that real quick. That's a me. I'm doing that. Fallout, the little Fallout kid. That's definitely Apocalypse. Fallout kid, not Fallout Boy. That's a band. What? Who's this guy? What's his name? Fallout Icon. Fallout Icon. What is this guy's? What is this kid's? I'll just whatever. Doesn't matter. We are still fighting, says Behebs. Fallout Boy, the Vault Boy. His name is Vault. I'm gonna draw the Vault Boy real quick. That's easy. This is an easy one. Fallout Shelter. It's a game. Is it? Dr. Venkman. Worlds of the Psychics. Yeah. You're one of my one of my top 2 favorite shows. Oh, that's awesome. What's the other one? Bassmasters. It's a fishing show. Yeah, I know Bassmasters. We still digging the dystopian music? Is a little haunting, right? I do try to always pick music that is somewhat relatable to what is going on. I hope you guys know that. I hope it comes through. I do actively, every single time I do a stream, try to pick music that is somewhat related to what I'm drawing. BF says, now it seems like you should be playing Fallout Boy. No, it doesn't. Nah. So after this gets done, I need to do that thing for Brian that I forgot to do yesterday. That's kind of important. I need to pack for the weekend all my personal clothing and such, because I need to take that with me in the morning when I go to work. And I need to finish up the coloring book stuff, which I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more pages to send over, but that's easy. That's just going through artwork already done and killing the color layer. But I do need to color the line art back to black and white because I colored most of the line art because it looks better. Because I try to make it look as good as possible. Z and Chaos, hello. I am here, lurking in the background, making pie. Good luck with the show. Well, thanks for popping in. Good luck with the pie. If you feel like tossing a suggestion in the suggestion box, feel free to do so. Otherwise, hey, appreciate you. We're drawing things from the apocalypse today. What kind of pie are you making? Not to force you to, like, I'm going to lurk, or you're going to answer my questions. Let's see here. I've seen, looking good, thank you very much. YouTube subscribers continues to pop off, which I'm really happy about. Currently, I just crossed yesterday 1,500. So if you'd like some context, when I started posting the Earthbound shorts on YouTube, I had 1,100. I had 1,100 subscribers. The only content that has been going on my YouTube channel is the Earthbound shorts. They're 15 seconds each, but they go up every single day. That is the only content that's been going up on my YouTube channel for the last 100 and 112 days. And in that time, I've gained 400 subscribers. 1 elderberry and 2 pumpkin pie is the best pie, though. Bubba Lavo says, B-Habs, it's camping themed. The kids have flashlights to read with and also to blind me with. That's what they do. I love it. I love sitting there at the campfire with the kids that just shine the light directly in your face, and then you make some snide comment like, I sure wish I could see. And they just kind of look at you, and you're like, oh, you're not going to get the hint, so I need to be more direct. Hey, could you not put it in my face? That's what I do, at least. Maybe that's just me. You have that next week. We don't have a camping trip, at least with Scouts, until I think May. But then we're going to Battleship Cove. We're going to sleep on a battleship that's in the dock. It's kind of fun. I'm looking forward to it, actually. This was something that we had planned for and paid for in 2020. And they refused to give us our money back. They said, nope, no refunds. And we said, interesting. You wouldn't happen to have noticed that the world ended, did you? We understand, but no money back. All right. BF says, we have like reading week and one day is with a flashlight. I can safely say I never once in my childhood stayed up late reading a book with a flashlight. I can say without a doubt that I stayed up many times with a flashlight playing Game Boy. Before the backlight Game Boys, Game Boy Color, right? That was the first time we got a backlight. But I also had all those god awful or those really ugly third party things you would add to them, like the magnifier screen and like the little like light that plugged into the like the jack on the side. I had all that junk. And I felt like I was the coolest kid ever. I was the coolest kid ever. I like how I said I wasn't going to draw a character, then I drew another character. The next one definitely is not going to be a character. It needs to be something. I don't know what that means, though. A tire that's on fire? I've heard a lot of good stuff about this game, but I've literally never played it, and I probably never will because I don't play, like, shooter games. But I hear it's good. It has a good story, I guess. BF says Dr. Seuss, The Apocalypse. Ooh. Cat in the Hat in apocalypse wear, like Mad Max style. Sounds terrifying. Not a bad idea. Did we watch Mandalorian, the new episode? I haven't finished it, but I watched about 30 minutes of it. We're getting a lot more of that slice of life Star Wars content. Which is interesting. Like I said, I didn't finish it, so I'm not going to spoil anything because I don't know what to spoil. But it is like a pretty heavy slice of life. Like Andor, like a lot of the Andor episodes were. But I don't know if I'm digging it as much as I dug it with Andor for some reason. I don't know. I feel like Mandalorian is so good that I don't want that in Mandalorian. I don't know. I don't know how to explain myself. Like, I loved it in Andor. I loved it. Because I guess I have no expectations of Andor. And so, like, since that was what I got, I loved it. The mundane, slice-of-life Star Wars content. But Mandalorian's good. I, like, love Mandalorian. And so I'm already, like, conditioned to love it. And so now I don't want slice-of-life with Mandalorian. BF says, I did watch the last of it. I watched the finale, too. That was pretty good. Is that done? Was that a one-season only thing? Or was there another season? It felt like a finale. Like a finale. But I don't know. Because I'm like, I don't know where else you go from here. Like, it seems like a pretty good place to stop. They're making a second season. Does the story keep going in the game? Or is there a second game? There's a second game, right? All right, let's color the Vault Boy, and it has no shading, so that's awesome. Oh, it does have... Oh, it has, like... Nah, that doesn't count. That's, like, really lazy shading. J Freak says there was a second game. See, I don't know. I don't know anything. Biabs, the second game could realistically be split into 3 seasons of the show. Well, hey, you know, if it makes enough money, you know they're all about those kind of executive decisions. Why make one Hobbit movie when you can make 3? Whoops. Whoa there. Back it up. Forgot this line here. There. No. There. It's like 3 acts in the second game. Thank you guys for educating me. I think this is a fun theme. I know this is not necessarily what Hawkeye Lego Man had intentionally in mind, but I think this is a fun theme. Apocalypse. Behab says, and also actress who played Anna, Ellie's mom, played voice Ellie in the games. That's cool. I like that. Yeah, that was really interesting in that finale when they went back and showed her being born, and it's like, oh, I get this now. I get this now. I understand how this works. I understand why you're immune. That makes a lot of sense. The magic of, you know, magic of them, what, stem cells, right? In the womb. Cures everything. It's amazing. It's incredible. Human body. The guy who plays Joel in the games was one of the cannibals. That was such a disturbing episode. I loved it, but it was so disturbing. Ugh. Felt so uncomfortable in that episode. And just everybody. Everybody there, right? They all are so pale. And you can tell that, like, it's... that what they're eating is, like, making them sick. Like, they just all had that gaunt look to them. All of them. Like, pale, gaunt, dejected, depressed. Ugh. Everyone's losing. No one's winning in that scenario except that one guy. He's winning. Hawkins says, that's fine. Behabs, it was better than the games version. Nice. That's nice when they can improve upon it. I also have my note written to do the hype train stuff. I thought about it some more and I have some ideas, so because I think it's appropriate to have some hype train stuff. And also remember, I showed you guys this before. Hold on. Peek behind the curtain. Peek behind the curtain. I can do stuff like when we're getting hyped up. I can be like spazzing out. Hype train. So there's other like animations and stuff. Hype, 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 hype. that I can look hype. So when we get to it, when no, don't do that. Don't. No. Hold on. I closed it by accident. Hold on. Okay. Does it work or not? Oh man, maybe it doesn't work. Work? Yes. Yes. Test. 1, 2. There we go. Let's see. The draft scene in the game. The draft scene is in the game, and there would have probably been riots if they didn't include that in the show. We got you. Your conductor had approval. Oh yeah, I remember that. That's a Eyebrow Express copyright. We can't infringe though. I don't want to infringe upon my friends' IPs. So instead, I should just have a Polly the Parrot hat. I don't want to infringe on this. So I'm going to infringe on this in my IP. Okay. I want to do something that's not a character, okay? At least just one thing. At least just one thing. I'm going to search Apocalypse in Google, okay? I know you guys have a bunch of awesome ideas in there. I get it. A-L-Y. I just don't want every single thing to be a character. Ooh, a mushroom cloud? Terrible. I'll do one of those. Why not? I'll do one of those. Let's do that real quick. Real quick, right? That's what I say. I'm gonna do a mushroom cloud. The explosion. See how well I can do this. Okay, we're gonna start with that. Okay, we're gonna start with this. Okay. Now we're gonna do some oranges. This might look really cool or it might be really bad. We're gonna see. We're gonna see if I can pull it off. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I have the strength, the skill set. Okay, this part here is gonna be pretty fiery right here. I'll just go all orange with that. B-Habs has swung in with a shape challenge. If you have no idea what's going on, you don't watch me enough. I know you don't know what. You don't know me. So, hey, you guys earn exposure bucks when you watch me live here on Twitch. I really appreciate your time. Appreciate that you guys are here with me. And you earn exposure bucks. What can you do with that exposure bucks? You can issue me drawing challenges. One of those challenges is the shape challenge. So what we're going to do here. I forgot that I saved. Wait. I saved it, didn't I? It's in a bookmark. It's in a blob maker. Blob maker. Make me a random shape. Make me a random shape. How do I do this? Make me a random. Oh, I need to actually use this. Ooh. Okay, can I copy this? How do I copy this? I just made a random. I promise you, I made a random shape. There's a random shape generator that I was shared last time called Blob Maker, blobmaker.app. I just made one. I did a randomizer. Okay. Oh, it redid it. Sorry. But how do I save it? I can't copy and paste it. Are you going to make me print screen this? All right, I'll just do this the old way. I'll figure that out later. All right, I'm going to open up Google real quick. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find some random shapes. And we did very geometric shapes last time, so this time we're going to do blobby shapes. I'm going to copy this. We're going to throw this in a brand new canvas here. Boom. Boom. There we go. Paste. Boom. Here's our shapes. The person who issued me the challenge gets to pick the shape. They also get to pick what am I going to draw in that shape. So, let's do. Okay. Those three. These are our three shapes. No. Boom. Bear with me a minute. Just give me a minute. Give me a minute. A, B, C. B-Habs, pick a shape and tell me what I'm drawing in the shape. Hawkins says, see, a jump scare could be fun. Nah. B-Habs says, torture Kevin. Do we believe him? Do you believe me? Depends on what I see. Remember when I did that 60-second challenge and the thing wasn't sharing my screen the whole time? What a delight. What a delight. All right, B-Habs, which shape? A, B, or C? C, and the prompt is a giraffe. Okay. Sounds hard. It sounds difficult. It sounds difficult. Okay. All right, we are going to do the shape challenge. I'm going to start that now. This is not a time challenge, but I'm not going to take forever on it, okay? Oh, what are we doing? What are we doing? Which way do we go? Which way do we go? Which way do I want to do this? Let's do this. Let's do this. We're just going to do it this way. All right. That's as good as it's going to get. Survey says, show me a giraffe. All right, let's see. Hawkeye says, by the end, BFs, you will see Giraffe in no time. Conductor. Hawkeye says, last one I did was more of an artistic point of view. Beautiful. It's so beautiful. I feel like there's something in this one. I feel like there's something in this one. I feel like there's something in this one. No. No BHABs. You think? Oh, I got water on the pen. Okay. A giraffe doing a somersault? Get this guy out of here. Hawkeye is on fire today with the trolling behavior. Goodness gracious. Yeah, if you could just draw me a, We got it. Ladies and gentlemen, we got it. I think I really like the game show music during this. I think that's a winner.
It's probably the best drawing I've ever done.
Almost. It almost is. Definitely lets you know something crazy is a stirring. It does. It does indeed. You're right. I don't know if I love it the fourth time through. You know what, Ray? The hope is that I wouldn't be doing this that long. The hope is it wouldn't be this long. Hey, you know what? But because of that, you know it's a good one. All right? You know it's a banger. If I'm struggling, it's a banger, okay? Do you want them to be easy? Do you want them all to be easy? Nobody wants them. Nobody wants them all to be easy.
Wow. You did these freehand?
Yep.
I'm really proud of you.
Complete. Mission complete. Giraffe in the shape as challenged by Behabs. Done. Done. Get this out of here. Get this out of here. Get this out of here. All right. We're done with that. Let me switch the music up. I'm going to switch to not the dystopian landscape. We'll go to that. A little Donkey Kong Country music.
I think I've improved on your methods a bit too. I employed some chiaroscuro shading and...
What?
What?
Thank you, thank you. Very good challenge, very good challenge. We will keep that. That will go in the personal archives until I've built up a bunch, and then I'll share that again on Patreon. Chaos says, woo! Thank you. Thank you. That was challenging. That was very challenging, actually. I need to go back to my mushroom cloud. Where's my reference image of mushroom cloud? There it is. Should you be concerned? Usually if I'm not saying anything, it's because I'm frantically trying to get something queued up, is usually why. And I'm not very good about trying to like frantically get something up and then also entertaining. I'm good at like talking when I'm drawing and stuff, but if I'm trying to like do a stream thing, if I'm trying to do a stream bit, then I usually can't talk at the same time. I don't have one of those fancy, you know, stream deck things where I press buttons and stuff happens. I have to manually find it and do it. So it doesn't go very quickly. BF says, you're welcome. Hawkeye says, you did it. World's best cup of coffee. It's great to meet you. Hi. Are you okay? I don't... Are you alright? How long did that take? I didn't count how long that one took me. It definitely took longer than normal. But it wasn't that long. Right? It wasn't that long. Come on. Oh, that's from Elf? Got you. I did not recognize that. Although I enjoy Elf, I did not recognize that. This is Donkey Kong Country 3. The song is called Nuts and Bolts from when you go to the factory. And robotic owls that are very similar to the one from, was it Jason and the Argonauts? That like, was it Bobo or something? The robot owl. There's an owl very similar to that owl in this level, just shooting with a bazooka at you. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was the Shape Challenge. You earn exposure bucks for watching me here on Twitch. I appreciate your time, all the time you spend with me. So you earn currency here on Twitch. That's another perk, and you can spend it. You can spend it on funny clips. You can spend it on Shape Challenges or 60-second challenges if you want to save up your money. I have it set so that it will happen once every. You can do it a maximum of once an hour. The challenges, but that's once an hour per specific challenge. So like you can do a Shape Challenge and a 60-second in the same hour. But you can't do two 60-second. You can't do two shape challenges in an hour. Ray says, that is a weird-looking giraffe. You're a weird-looking giraffe, Ray. I hate to break it to you. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, my friend, but you are a weird-looking giraffe. Wow. Finishing up this explosion. And then we'll start another one. And I think what we'll do, I think this deserves some glow to it, doesn't it? We need to do some glowy bits to this. This one deserves it, I think. Not always, just sometimes. BF says, you have been in a glowy mood lately. I don't know what that means. I think it's the coffee. I had coffee right. It makes a massive difference when I start a stream and I had coffee literally like minutes before I start. I haven't lost my energy yet, which I tend to do because of work and stuff. I get really tired. Around this time, 8 to 9, that's when it kind of hits. Oh, that kind of glowy mood. Hawkeye says, that was the giraffe. You added glow. I did, because I feel like sometimes the glow is needed sometimes. Alright. I'm gonna add all those together. So we have 6, so we've officially, I think, matched up with what I had last week, which was 6. 6 last week, 6 this week. But we still have 25 minutes, plenty of time for another one. What do we got? Let's jump back into the suggestion box. Oh, Sharknado. Oh. Sharknado. Sharknado. Awful. Awful stuff. Oh, man. Look at the... I forgot that guy was chainsawing the shark in half. Lord. Lord. Sharknado 6? My goodness gracious. Sharknado the board game? Sharknado the Funko Pop? The last Sharknado, It's About Time? What on earth? Sharknado the Fourth Awakens? Sharknado 3? This Google search. There is a Funko Pop. It's like, it's on Walmart.com. Movie Sharknado figure toy cartoon. It's definitely a Funko Pop. Yeah, it's like this one shark in the middle of a tornado with water. Horse-nado? You're not doing horse-nado, please. Alright,
Oh no!
Joseph Zawada's lurking, everybody. Just casually popping in there and tossing suggestions without saying anything. I see how you are. How is this Apocalypse? How is this random anime character Apocalypse? Explain yourself. Okay, I think, what do I want to do? Okay, I'll do J Freak said the mutant Apocalypse from X-Men. I'll do that one. I kind of want to do some more things, but I don't know what things to do, right? Like things. Oh, clearly I should do the Oscar Isaac one, right? Clearly? Clearly? I should clearly do that one, right? Okay. Dun 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 dun. I love this music. I don't know if this stuff like gets irritating to you guys. I know sometimes people don't like when there's music that doesn't have a lot to it and it repeats a lot, but this is like level music from Donkey Kong, so like it's kind of typical. But if you guys are not feeling it, like let me know. Because I understand there's not a lot to it. It's kind of like a simple melody and it just kind of keeps repeating itself. So I have a tax appointment, which is always a delight. Always a delight. And unfortunately, I really didn't want it to be this way because I'm really super bummed. But unfortunately, my tax appointment is April 1st, right when the world premiere, when something that I am really interested in watching live, because that was literally the very first day that my wife and I are available at the same time and the same day to go do this together. No way around it. That was literally the only option. That was the first day. So I'm kind of bummed about that. I actually kind of picked a difficult angle to draw, of course, because why would I pick an easy angle to draw? Dun 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 dun. Rare Candy 77 is here. Hi, Kevin. Yes, the Nintendo level music rocks. Nice. Chaos is alright. It's been fun, but I gotta head out. Thanks for the stream. Thanks for being here. Enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you again for popping in. It is greatly appreciated. Alright, let me switch it up again real quick. It's been long enough probably on that one. Probably driving enough people crazy. Sometimes that's like the music I listen to when I'm working, though, for reals. Like, I'll just sit there and bring up, like, Donkey Kong Country music, and it'll just play. And eventually the autoplay will lead me to, like, you know, 30-minute edition of X or 1 hour loop of Y, and it, like, doesn't bother me at all. In the least. How's a rare candy today? How you doing? Thanks for popping in. Today's stream is about the apocalypse. That's our theme today, as sponsored by Hawkeye Lego Man over on Patreon. And we're just about done for today. This might end up being the last one today. Kind of depending on how much I do and how much I push it. Let's see. The eyes are like actually too big. The eyes are actually too big. I hope everybody's had a good time today with our doom and gloom apocalypse stream. Talking about the end of times. Of course, I will give you guys a tour when we're done so we can look at everything that was drawn. We can reminisce about all of the good times. All the good times, indeed. Ooh, what is this? This seems like Zelda. This seems like Zelda music. Rare Candy says, I'm doing awesome, thank you. Excellent time, says Behabs. You? I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. Starting to feel it. Starting to feel it. But hey, 3 hours in. But you know, it's been a long day. Did a whole shift at work. Did a little bit of packing. Got to do some more packing because I have a show this weekend. But it's been pretty good. Been pretty good. Except the whole rat thing, says Behabs. That was a critical part. That was what was requested by our lovely theme suggester. So we are, we're only a couple. So if you guys are listening to this, if you are a current patron of mine, or you're listening to if you're listening live or if you're listening to the replay, if you are a patron of mine at the $10 tier and above, please go into the Doodle Stream theme and give me some suggestions. We have a couple more to do. I think we've got one from Ray. I think there's maybe one other one from Kristen, and there might be one more. And then we are in, not that there's anything wrong with it, But then we enter into the every theme is BHABs and Hawkeye Lego Man for the rest of the year. So I would like to have some variety. They have some great suggestions, and we will be definitely doing a lot of them. But it would be nice, considering there's 80 patrons on there. It'd be nice to have some more people participate. It really would be kind of cool. The giraffe may have helped. It definitely was a fun one. I liked it. That was a challenge. That one was a challenge, let me tell you. So good on you for that. You know, they can't all be easy. I'm being honest. I don't want them to all be easy. Sometimes they are easy. I'm like, that was easy. That one was tough. That one was tough, let me tell you. All right, that's good enough for Apocalypse. BF says, want me to yell at them? No. No, you don't have to do that. You just wait for the scroll, and then you yell at every single one. You know, like, I wait until I see the scroll at the bottom, and then I take note of all the names. But I think we've got a Ray idea, and then we've got a Kristen one. I think there's one more. And then literally the entire rest of the year are all BHABs and Hawkeye Lego Man. Which you guys have given me enough. You guys have given me so many that literally the entire rest of the year we would use them all, and there would still be a couple left on the table. Like, not even kidding. But remember, I told you guys that once a month I do my own theme, so that's also factoring that in. Once a month I pick a somewhat copyright friendly theme, and I do that. I need to check and see what that would be for this month, if anyone's interested. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. Some people like their copyrighted characters, and I understand. Copyrighted characters sell. BF says, I mean, glad that you like them. Feel bad that so few patrons made this. Yeah, so do I. But it's so weird. It's always so weird because it's like, these are the people that just give me money. So I feel weird being mad. Because it's like, okay, it's your choice not to participate. It's a perk you get, and you literally are giving me money. So, okay. So it's a weird feeling. Release the foppies! Hey, I love a good, foppy horde. Who doesn't love a good foppy horde? The foppies called for help. What is some more, does anybody have any ideas for, Apocalypse, just items? Just stuff. Not necessarily characters, just, stuff. What do you think of? Do you think of, a tire on fire? For some reason, I think of that. I don't know. What are some other things? What are some objects and things you think of? Landmarks you think of? There's a theme, foppies doing things, and there's actually two. There's foppies and fobbies. There's a red one and an orange one, and I drew both of them. Foppies are the red ones. They're the weaker enemies that appear earlier in the game, and then they get stronger, and then they turn orange, and then they're fobbies. Very terrifying. Virtually exactly the same, but different color. Thank you, Rare Candy, for increasing the Foppy army. Foppies for all, I say. Foppies for all. I actually don't like. I added that little bit of white in the eyes, but I don't like it. don't like it. There's Apocalypse from the X-Men cartoon. Hawkeye says, or even better, Hidden Objects, Foppy Edition. A broken down car is something you think about with the Apocalypse? Yeah, like a pickup truck in the desert or something. Something like that. Oh, he's so tiny. You don't need to be that tiny. You don't need to be that tiny, Apocalypse. I think the Viking is pretty gigantic. That one could probably get shrunk down. I think now with 7, I think 7 items were officially tied with last time, which is the least amount I've drawn on the stream before. But look at all the detail in these. Come on. Are you kidding me? Ooh, I'm gonna do like a biohazard sign. That's a good one. That's a good one. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. Okay. That's a good one. We got it. Ladies and gentlemen, we got it. This one will definitely most likely be the last one. I think that's a pretty good one to end on. And then we'll do a tour, and then we'll raid somebody, and then I'll get out of here. Hawkeye says, even though you're getting fewer doodles, the quality just keeps improving. Thank you very much. I think so too. And I don't say that to be full of myself. I think it is. They're definitely getting better. Definitely getting better. Definitely that, quality over quantity. I mean, I'm still a little bummed because I know there's a lot of people that don't get anything drawn, and I understand that's maybe not the best viewer experience from a live stream audience because not as many people get to participate. I understand that. But in terms of the artwork created, yeah. Yeah. You know what I mean. Do a new layer on top of that. Hawkeye says, you can tell where you find new things to add as far as details such as glows and gradients. Up a little bit. We're just finishing up our stream today, if you're just popping in. Wrapping up for today. Today's been all about the apocalypse. Can I fit this all in one go? I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. Let's see what happens. I was right. I was right. I figured. It's kind of smushy, but you know. As all things go with signs, you like go, oops, I ran out of space. That's how it goes. That's just kind of how it goes. I would fix it if it was like not just a quick sketch. Kind of okay with this one being a little bit more messed up. Like, I don't really care. More about this. I want the symbol to be clear. You know? You know what I mean? Okay. Alright, we need to do some copy and paste action on this for sure. For sure. For sure. This has been good. It's been a good stream. I'm starting to run on fumes, so this is a good place to end. Energy is low. I still have things to do. I need to pack. I need to work on at least one thing. At least one thing. Yes, that is correct. And we're gonna fuse all those together. Move it in the middle.
Well, art is not all fun and games. It's a lot of hard work.
A 2 M hype energy. Yep. Art is all hard work, Ray. You know this. I was talking about you today at work, Ray. Just you. All the best things. Don't worry about it. All the absolute best things possible. You're excused. You're excused. It's fine.
That belongs in a museum.
Hey, thanks. I don't want it straight up like that. It's kind of lame. Gotta have a little tilt. If it's too straight up and down, you're like, oh, you just held down shift. What was the context? No, don't worry about it. It wasn't anything bad, man. All right.
You're making us a little bit uncomfortable.
Relax, big guy. He's just doing this for his
I
art.
really was just
Right,
doing
Homer?
it for my art.
Oh, yeah. Art.
I really was. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of today's live stream. Today was all about the apocalypse, as sponsored by Hawkeye Lego Man over on patreon.com/MrInkleDraws. Exclamation point Patreon in the chat. There is more information. I really hope you consider checking it out. I do a lot of stuff for my patrons.
Any last words?
That's right. It is time for the last words. I'm going to take you on a quick tour. We've got our Apocalypse Viking. Look at this. Look at that.
That belongs in a museum.
Look at that knife, serrated knife up there. Thank you, BABs. Thank you, Bubble Levo. We've got this thing. B-Abs is definitely want to get it out of here for this. We've got our Chuck E. Cheese.
Probably the best drawing I've ever done.
Abandoned Apocalypse Chuck E. Cheese animatronic in the desert somewhere. We've got a gigantic mega spider blowing up this building. We got a clicker from The Last of Us. We got a caution biohazard sign. We've got the mutant apocalypse from X-Men. Hey, thanks, Ray. We've got a explosion, a nuclear explosion, right next to our Fallout Boy. I think it's pretty good. Look, came out pretty good, right? So today was all about Apocalypse, again, sponsored by Hawkeye Lego Man. One of my patrons, he made the suggestion, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. What's up, Dave?
Wow. You did these freehand?
Yep.
I'm really proud of you.
Thanks, Dave. Explosions indeed. I always appreciate the lurkers. I appreciate all the folks lurking out there. You guys are awesome. Thank you for all the support. And also, just in case you missed it, we did have a shape challenge. I had to put a giraffe in here. It was a lot of fun. It was very hard. Probably one of the harder shape challenges I've had to do since starting that on the stream. So that was a lot of fun. All right. Let's raid somebody. Who are we raiding? Who are we raiding? Do we raid Arctic Arts because he was feeling down on himself today? He better not be. I swear if he is. Hawkeye says, Chucky's is gorgeous. I want to see where his life takes him. I swear if Arctic Arts is doing Smash or Pass. I swear to you. All right, hold on. Let me do reconnaissance. I've got an ad. Wait, give me 10 seconds. Give me 10 seconds. Because our dear friend Arctic Arts, a fellow artist here on Twitch, was feeling a little down in the dumps today. What is he doing? Making a special gift? What is this? Is this art? Is this art? I'm going to type, is this art? Is this art? I'm asking Arctic Arts if he's making art. Is this art? Is this art, Arc? Arc, is this art? Is this art, Arc? Come on, Arc! 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 Oh, whatever. Okay. He's not replying. Let's just go raid him. Let's make him let's make him feel better, okay? Creator dashboard. We're gonna go raid our friend Arctic Arts. Say, Arctic Arts, you're an awesome artist. Can everybody please say that to Arctic Arts? All right, let's go raid Arctic Arts. Starting the raid. Say, Arc, we love you. You're a great artist. We all believe in you. Give him some positive messages. Thank you guys for being here today. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Remember, no Doodle stream next week because I have scouts, but I'll probably do a March of Robot stream at some point. So I'll catch you guys later. Take care. Let's go send some love to Arctic Arts.